Let me share with you 10 tips that will help improve employee performance. Hi, I'm Cecilia Gorman. I'm the creator of Manager Bootcamp. I help managers of all levels feel more equipped to communicate with, motivate, and lead their teams. One tip to help improve employee performance is care. It's simple as that. Just care. Care about your job. Care about being good at it. Care about the people on your team. Care about what they want to be when they grow up. Care about doing good work. And it sounds so simple, but I can tell you this. It's kind of hard because I want you to care every single day. No matter what's on your plate, no matter how difficult that person on your team is being or how overwhelmed you feel, just really walk in the door each day and care about what's going on. Because tell you this, the moment you stop caring about things, that's where problems start. That's where negativity starts to come in. That's where apathy starts to play. It affects your productivity. It affects how motivated you are. You can tell people at your company who don't care. I think you can just look at them and you feel it coming from their pores. Am I right? You know that. And you can also tell when you're in the presence of someone who really cares about doing a great job. And guess what? I want that to be you. One tip to impact employee performance is really about cultivating a relationship with the people that you manage. Now, I know you know their name. I know you probably know like a little bit about them, but really to dig in deep and get into relationship with the people that you manage. I've heard people say like, I don't want to know too much about the people on my team because I don't want to make it personal. Well, guess what? This is life. It's all personal. We're people, so it's personal. Really just, I want you to be authentic. I want you to be genuine. And if you're authentic and genuine in the way that you communicate and manage the people in your team, you're going to develop personal relationships out of that. It's inevitable. But the best managers are the ones that really do the work, that they're intentional about getting deeper into relationship with people. And this may just be that they really know what this person wants to do with their career. It could just be that, but that they're purposeful about cultivating that relationship. One tip to impact employee performance is to challenge the people on your team. Truly challenge them. I don't mean just dole out the work and here's your assignment, get it done, I'll give you some more tomorrow. I mean like put them in a place that's tough, that pushes their limits just a little bit, that actually makes them feel like they're challenged. Everybody wants to do great work, yes, that's a given, but people also want to do work that grows them, that tests them a little bit, that makes them have to really think about what they're doing. Nobody wants to come into work and be on autopilot, just cranking out widgets all day long. Maybe for a week or two, but certainly not for years on end. It's in the challenge that employees grow. It's in the challenge where they get and they stay motivated. Find an opportunity to give them an assignment that's maybe just a smidge above what they think they're capable of. Find a way to put them, partner them with someone or put them on a project that is just beyond their capabilities. When you challenge your employees, they'll in turn become so much more motivated and so much more dedicated to the job at hand. One tip to impact employee performance is to be authentic. Really, it's just the directive to be you. I've been around people in the workplace that act like the manager and they put on their manager shoes when they come to work, and you can just feel like they're not really being themselves. They're acting like the role that they think they should have. And I guess that this just may be how they think being a manager is in the workplace, how they think they need to show up. But I guarantee you, the more real you can be, the more authentic, the more genuine you are, the more success you're going to have. And why is that? Because people will feel a better connection to you. They'll actually see that you're a real person, that you're human. And when you're authentic, you're you. There's no facade, there's no role playing, there's no I'm the manager, you're not thing going on. You're genuine, and it impacts the way employees perform. One tip to impact employee performance is the dreaded V word. Be vulnerable. First, it's a hard word to say to get it out of your mouth, but it's also a hard thing to do. What does being vulnerable mean? It just means you admit that you don't know everything, and that you're open, and that you're transparent, and that you share your struggles with the people that you manage. I've heard so many people tell me, like, I can't show vulnerability to my team. I have to know all the answers. Really? You have to know all the answers? First of all, is that even humanly possible? No. You're there to lead and inspire a team, and to try and get good work out of them. That's your job. Your job isn't to know everything. And sometimes we have to be vulnerable. We have to admit, like, hey, that project that I was working on didn't go so well. Let me talk to you about what happened. Or we have to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm sorry. Yesterday I wasn't acting very leaderly, and I'm sorry I took it out on you. Vulnerability just means you're human. And when the people on your team can feel that from you, it impacts how they show up every day. One tip to impact employee performance is about the manager being flexible. And being flexible just means that you have a willingness to understand other people's points of view. You have a willingness to shift your position if you need to. You have a willingness to hear someone's perspective and to change your mind. Flexibility, you know what it means. It just means you're moving a little bit. You're not stiff, and you're not rigid, and you're not set in your ways. Rigidity doesn't make employees conform. Rigidity makes employees want to leave. So flexibility comes through most times through the way you communicate. If you learn how to be flexible with people that maybe are a different disposition than you are, people who are more emotional than you are. It's really about thinking on your feet, and in turn being able to adapt to the environment around you. Managers who are flexible greatly impact team performance. One tip that impacts employee performance is when not only the manager, but everybody on the team learns how to productively give and receive feedback. I put the word productively in there because we all know how to give feedback. We all know how to hear it, but I don't know if all the time it's productive. We need to make sure that we are educated enough to know how to initiate a conversation that might get a little tough, that we know how to maneuver a conversation that's gotten a little bit sticky, and not everybody knows the art of doing that. Keeping a conversation productive means the person hearing the feedback didn't get defensive. The person giving the feedback didn't have some ulterior agenda and just wanted to shove their point across to the other person. Productively giving and receiving feedback means that when the conversation's over, two people walk away feeling valued, feeling heard, and feeling respected. And if you can check all those three boxes, then you've learned how to productively give and receive feedback. And when everybody on the team knows how to do this, it greatly impacts the team performance. Employee performance is impacted by this tip, and it's this. It's when everyone understands the value of learning, of growing. When learning becomes a priority for the team, performance is impacted. And really what this means is that the group collectively has decided we're here to grow. And this can come by any ways. Maybe the group watches a training video together. Maybe the group reads a book and does like a book group or a book study together. Or they share articles amongst each other. Or they pick a topic and they have a discussion. But great teams make their learning and growth a priority. Now listen, you can show up to work every day from 9 to 5 and you're going to learn something. But when the group makes the group's learning a priority, we can exponentially impact team performance. One tip that'll help impact team performance is what I call traditions. And this just means, what are the things that our team does? And maybe they're special, maybe they're different, maybe there's something that marks an occasion in a way that bonds the group together. I mean, think back to when you were a kid and you think of the traditions that your family had. You probably think back on them pretty fondly. Like maybe you all had matching PJs on Christmas Eve, or maybe you always did this certain thing on Easter, and it just became what the family does. The same holds true for great teams. It's just what the team does. I was on a team once where our tradition was we'd ring a bell when somebody delivered something great. Maybe they were early on a project or they walked out of a great client meeting, and we had a huge cowbell in the middle of the department and we would ring it, and that became our tradition. Another tradition we had was tie Fridays. I don't know who made it up, but everyone wore a tie on Fridays. And it wasn't a formal atmosphere by any means, but you could just tie a tie loosely on your desk, and then we'd all go out for Thai food. It was crazy, but it was Thai Friday. Traditions bond the people on the team together. They make people feel like they are part of something, that they belong. And frankly, we all could use a little bit more of that. The best teams have traditions that mark who they are and what they're about. One tip to impact team performance is about connection. And I want you to think of it this way. Think of it like a spider web. If one strand is wove between two people, that's one strand of the web, okay? And we're connected, yes, but it's a pretty fragile strand, right? One person even stretches just a little bit, it might break. But if there's a team of 10 people and I'm connected to one, and then I'm connected to another, and then that one's connected to that one, all of a sudden we've woven a pretty strong interconnection amongst the team. The best teams are really intentional about the connections they make. So it's not just the boss getting into a relationship with each person on the team, but it's inviting two of the members of the team. Hey, why don't you guys go out to lunch on us? Or, hey, why don't you guys have a coffee? Or why don't we meet together as a subgroup? That we're consciously thinking about the connections that we're making amongst each other. The greatest teams know that connection is the foundation of a lot of success on that team, of great communication. Connection is the foundation of trust. It's the foundation of collaboration. So the more connected we can be with each other and with one another, the greater the team is going to be. If you're an HR professional, a new manager, a seasoned manager, and you would love more tools and tips to help you grow as a connector, a motivator, and a leader, follow me. You can find me on any of your favorite social and subscribe to me on my YouTube channel.